Today on Table Time Podcast.
I just love to learn.
Was you in like top set and that as well?
Top set.
Yeah.
But it's like primary school, I loved it, loved to learn.
Yeah.
But something about education,
yeah,
it just always appealed to me.
Seeing.
And now I'm a teacher, right? So I'm still in education from a different angle. That experience inside the mental health hospital. Man.
Where they bring you, Homerton?
Homerton.
Yeah.
Oh my days. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's a wilderness in there. So now we've got 3-4 officers wrestling, trying to pin me down, handcuff me.
Yeah.
But they're not able to do that, right? So the next step, taser. Bow.
Oh shit.
Right? Taser, legs gone, back to the hospital.
Yeah.
Right? The need to let some things go, to cut some things out, and just to do good and to help society. I feel connected to the source of all things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoa, I don't know what is happening, but this is, I feel alive. So the book will tell the story of how I went from the shyest boy in London to getting sectioned to going on the road to recovery, whereby it's no longer about surviving. This is about thriving. Right?
But
like,
I like that one. It's not about surviving, it's about thriving.
When you die, and when I die, any assets that we hope to pass to our children perhaps is going to be taxed, right? Of course, inheritance tax. Now, I'm here to tell you one simple step in which you can legally avoid inheritance tax. Yes, yes, yes. Now, it's as simple as this. Young people are being violated. Now the government is talking about reducing the number of students who can enroll on what they call rip-off degrees, what they call low-value degrees. Now the problem with this is, who is the government to decide what is low value? Because the government's criteria is, does it lead to a job? How much money do you end up making?
Jeez.
check.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Yeah, we're in the building. Hey, people. Jeez. Hey, look, see how I make the chair comfortable, you get me? Hey, done know, man. We're back with another episode of the Table Time Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. You know all of that. Big up everyone we've had on the episode so far. Big up the whole team. You get me? Big up Trex, big up Sims. Big up man like DJ Young Nerves, you see what I'm saying? Big up man like Upcoming Productions, my team that's doing the editing. Yeah, man. So today, I can't lie, this one is going to be an insightful one because this person here, obviously, I know him like locally in my area. And yeah, man, obviously, a lot of like my friend that knows him still, I didn't go to school with him and I never grew up with him, but I know him from, you know, the ends and whatnot. You get me? One of the ends is. And yeah, bro, this guy's a powerful individual in man's community. Again, you know, man only get special guests on there. Man's giving man a big intro, but man has to, you get me? I see this guy every day. You know, he just cuts through, does his thing. Peaceful brother, but I know he's got a lot to offer. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce yourself, my brother.
Oh, thank you very much for the opportunity to have this conversation. And where do we begin? Where should we begin?
Yeah, all right, first and foremost, what's your name, innit?
My name is Eche.
Eche, yeah?
Eche.
So that's what you want to be, yeah. Okay, yeah, man. And where did you grow up?
I grew up in Haggerston. I've always been in Hackney, but we grew up in Haggerston, then we moved down the road to Hoxton.
Okay.
And then I moved down the road to Murray.
Okay, yeah. I hear that. So what was life growing up in Hackney like, what should we say?
You know what? Those days, we're talking about like late 90s, where I spent my formative years. So we're talking about happy slaps. We're talking about postcode wars.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm growing up in the midst of all of this madness.
Yeah. People don't know, you know, happy slaps, guys.
Happy slaps, postcode wars. I'm seeing people on the streets. People are getting robbed. There's a whole heap of madness, but at the same time, there's still a community ethos. We're sport for choice when it comes to youth clubs. Like youth clubs all over the place. And we're on the era of moving into the digital age. So we're still working with analog technologies. We've got the VHS tapes. We got the
DVDs.
We got the, even before DVDs. Yeah,
before.
So things were slower back then. Cassette tapes. Right? Things were slower.
Man had the phone box.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
they didn't have mobile phones like that.
And even when we did have phones, it was limited in what it could do. You text, you call, but you couldn't browse, which means that we had to link up. So even though there was a lot of danger, we were out.
Yeah.
We're active. Yeah. Playing football, running around, just moving around, kind of bonding. So despite the chaos and the madness of the kind of postcode wars, the ends in that time, especially for me, like it was just perfect timing growing up in the estate that I did, because some of my kind of lifelong friends, we just happened to be in the same neighborhood at the same time.
That's right.
Even in the same housing block. Yeah. Right. 4 floors. And like my closest guys came from that era. But then, of course, gentrification, people are now spreading to the 4 corners.
That's right, yeah.
But in that time, right, when nobody wanted to live in Hoxton because of the reputation. Yeah. Right? Brixton had the reputation.
That's right, yeah.
So before gentrification, it's like that's the era in which I grew up.
Same.
And even me, even though I did not dabble into any kind of street end situations, like there were still zones that I didn't go to. Yeah, yeah. Like there's certain posts.
Like what zones on that at the time?
I didn't go Brixton. I didn't go Peckham. I didn't go unless it's like a restaurant or something like that, in and out. But me on my own, no Brixton. There's places in Hackney that I didn't go to. Yeah. Only when I got to my 20s that I could venture into those, like London Fields. Like I'm like, no. Like my biggest.
It's a dangerous area.
Dangerous, man. I'm just hearing stories, man. Mother Square this and London Fields that. They got beef with these people, even though I'm not involved at all. Very like. One of the questions that I dreaded being asked is, what ends you from? I'm like, what would that, like, what am I going to do with
so
this?
How did you navigate through that then? Like, how was that for you? Because like you said, you didn't participate in the streets and that. So how was you able to navigate through that?
You know what? I think it's interesting, but when I was younger, I had more of a kind of sense of self. Like I knew who I was. Yeah. And I kind of lost that as I grew. See. So it was like me, I like to create things. I had my own comic book when I was younger. I'm like, okay, we used to draw, make riddles, and we played football in the cage. 4 goals, we played football. Yeah, yeah. Right. So even though the madness was happening, there were certain things that were natural to me that I just kind of did. Yeah. So some of my friends were affiliated or they were part of that. But because I knew, my sense of self was like, okay, listen, we're friends, but there's no intermingling, right? Yeah. Like there's no way I'm going to kind of dip my toes into that. Yeah. So I had that sense of self, which I would say a lot of it comes from kind of family values. Yeah. Right? So I'm Nigerian.
Okay, so that's your background.
But even with that, I'm Igbo.
So okay, that's your tribe, yeah?
That's the tribe. Yeah. So that has a strong cultural heritage and a strong emphasis on education. Yeah. So it's like, yo, education.
So you kind of knew where you knew where you was from early. Yeah. You know what I mean, innit? As an African growing up in Britain, and that's another thing, because you see in America is a little bit different. We get caught with the American mentality because I'm American, I'm African American. Yeah. No disrespect to it, but you know, ideology, like, how do I say it? Like, logically, for us it's a bit different here. Maybe because they've got history there, innit? So, but a lot of us here, we kind of get caught in their thing, but we're not, you know, it's different for us because our parents, sometimes we're like maybe 1st generation, 2nd generation. So our parents could have came here as migrants or came here to settle. Yeah. So like for me, my mum and dad, my mum was born in Ireland, but my dad was born here, but my grandma and from both sides come. So I'm like, would say 3rd generation. So, but I respect that though, because you had a sense of purpose. That's what I was trying to get to. You get me? So yeah, man. So I'll continue. Yeah. Sorry to cut you, but I respect that though. Yeah.
And so one of the things that I would see is like my mum would get up early. Yeah. Like she would leave the house for work. Yeah. And I wouldn't see her till the evening. Yeah. So a lot of times I didn't see mum.
What type of work did she do?
Like she's just kind of she's doing kind of manual jobs, right? But she's grinding. Yeah. And there's even moments whereby, like, she took me shopping with her a couple of times. And when I was younger, you know, I'm like, why do I have to get dragged to shopping? Yeah. But now when I look back at it, it's like just the work ethic. Yes. Seeing the shopping load. Yeah. And then there's a couple of times where she actually because of a lack of babysitting, like I went to work with her. So I'm seeing my mum work. Like I'm seeing the work ethic, and it's just consistent.
Yeah.
7 days a week. Mum is grinding.
Yeah.
Dad is doing business.
Yeah.
So it was like that. I feel like that passed into me. So I'm like, okay, while I'm here, let me do education. Let me put my all into education. And I don't know, but I just loved primary school. Like,
I did as well, you know. Yeah,
primary school
was lit.
It was so amazing.
Yeah.
This is the best thing in the. Like, I just loved it. The freedom. You know, you create something, you put it on the board. Right. This lesson, we're gonna do this, then we're gonna go to bed. I'm like, drink milk, go to bed. I'm like, this is like this. This is making sense.
You know, primary school was it still. I can't lie. I enjoyed primary school as well. Yeah.
Of all my educational experiences, primary school is the best. Like, and basically, as I get older, they get less enjoyable. Whereby university was dreadful.
Yeah. So what? So alright, cool. So you enjoyed primary school, and then secondary school. So what? Did you enjoy secondary school?
I did, but not as much as primary school. Yeah, but secondary.
You're getting older, the pressure's on. Yeah.
Secondary was still live.
What school did you go to?
Central Foundation.
Big up Hyper, right? You get me? I don't like Hyper recent. So when you was in Central Foundation, obviously I got a friend, big up Hyper man, he went to your school, innit? DJ and that, you get me? But he said, because to me, I feel that even him, he's pretty intelligent, you get me? Like, and even the way I see him, how he navigates, it's the same thing. Like, he's not a troublemaker, you get me, he's from it, but he's in his own lane. So, and I know Central Foundation, because I'm not from that area and that, but I know, was that a bad school back in the day? Or was it balanced?
It was.
He said you said that you were smart in school, that's what he said, but he said at the same time, you weren't a dickhead. You get me? Like, he said that, because you know, obviously certain men be like, oh, he's smart, but he said you were smart in school, but man, like, I can't lie, he was a strong guy, because I said, yeah, I swear my man does the gym thing and that. He's like, yeah, nah, he's always been like, you get me? I'm bigging you up, you know what I mean there? So, but, so yeah, like, how was it in school growing up, and you get me, and what was it the path that, why did he say you're so smart in school? What was it?
I just love to learn from an early age, man.
Okay.
I just love to learn.
Was you in like top set and that as well?
Top set.
Yeah.
But it's like primary school, I loved it, loved to learn.
Yeah.
But something about education,
it
just always appealed to me. And now I'm a teacher, right? So I'm still in education from a different angle. So I've always loved learning, like lifelong learning. So secondary school was more of the same, and now we're getting older. The peer pressure is building up now. It's more subtle, right? So primary school, we're still kind of forming ourselves, but now there's peer pressure. People are growing up. There's different cliques and clans, and there's people who are involved in certain things. And I went to a boys' school, so, you know, testosterone, right? I guess to an extent it's a blessing and a curse, because if there were girls around there, people would have been acting up even more to impress the girls.
Yeah, because that's like my school. My school was both,
But it was a boys' school, so lots of energy, right? We're just kind of trying to understand where we're going. But to go back to your point, what was it like? I would say it was a balance. It was a balance. There were definitely some people in there, you know, who were affiliated, who were in something. But on a spectrum, there's levels to it. Like, there were certain schools whereby I'm like, the stories I'm hearing there is like, we're bad, but we're not like this school.
My school had security. I went to school in South London. My school was called Kingsdale. I don't know if you've heard of it as you work in the school system, but it's called Kingsdale. And it was in Southwark, but a lot of kids from Lambeth, which is like West Norwood, Gypsy Hill, Tulsa, Brixton, will go there, plus Dulwich, Peckham, obviously. So around that jurisdiction, innit? And then there was a time, the same thing with the areas of beefing, and we had security guards in our school. There was stabbings in our school, allegedly. You know what I mean? I don't want to. You know what I mean? There was pupils pulling up to school on quad bikes, mopeds, cars, that at the age of 16. You get me? And it was always the Peckham years that was more advanced, though. Still, they were savage. But yeah, man. So yeah, no, but continue though. But so that's what I kind of wanted to say. So your school was a bad school, but it wasn't a notorious school, innit?
Exactly. Yeah. That's a nice way to frame it. So kind of growing up in that, I still feel like, for the most part, I still had a sense of self. Right. I still knew that. Listen, there was one story that half the school or half the year they were gonna go to a next school because something happened. Right, and so they said, Eche, are you coming?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, bro. Like, I'm going to stay here and play Connect 4 with the homie.
Yeah.
I'm like, you man are looking for trouble. Like, I'm easy. Like, so
so they wanted to roll up to it.
I'm like, why am I going to go and put myself in that kind of situation? So I was like, listen, to an extent, I've been risk averse. I'm like, why would I put myself in that position? So I'm like, bro, I'm not going. Yeah. Right? So even though peer pressure was heavy, I'm like, it's not so heavy that it's going to pull me up in that. Yeah. Right? And I would say, going back to what you said, it's like the US influence was really now kind of starting to resonate. That's right. In terms of how one dresses, how one talks, even opinions of the police. When I look back, I realized it came from the rappers. Yeah. F the Police and Tupac. And I'm like, they informed my own experience as opposed to what's Eche's experience with the police. I actually downloaded those experiences from the rappers. Right. So they were very influential for me. Right. And I listened to a lot of hip hop, a lot of UK rap music as well. So the peer pressure, the slang is coming in, the dress code is coming in. And people are trying to find themselves. People are trying to find themselves, but still in that time, I still know who I am. I like to learn. I love to, but I also love the gym. I love athletics. Okay, so from young you was from young. Yeah. Year 9, I was waiting for year 9 because year 9, one thing happens, we can use the gym. Yeah. So I was waiting from time we got to year 7. I'm like, when do we get to year 9? Like, can we get to year 9 so I can get into this gym? Yeah. So that was what I love. PE, love the gym. Like that's been there. Yeah. And that hasn't changed. You know, that level of activity. But at the same time, like I was serious about my studies. Yeah. And I was good at it. It made sense. Yeah. How well did you do when you got to GCSEs? That GCSEs. Yeah. What did I do? 1A star, 3A, 6Bs. You hear that, people? Which for me was kind of... Say that again, though. Go on. 1A star, 3A, 6Bs. Okay. And that was a bit disappointing for me, actually. What, the Bs, yeah? For the Bs, right? And I was gassed because in primary school, I was like the top student, like the very top student. Okay. So in your SATs, what did you get in your SATs? Do you remember? It was 555. Bossy. And they put me up for the I got like 334 something like that. So you get me? I was like, yeah, I'm smart, man. Yeah. And then when I got to secondary, like I met people who are smart, like A star across the board. There's levels though. Yeah, there's levels to it. So I'm like, brother, like who's this done? I said, well, I want to compete with him. Yeah. Like, this is what I'm competing with, you know. So it's like small fish is now moving into a big pond. Yeah. So, and that's another theme in my life, which is comparison. Okay. Comparison has held me back in a number of years. Yeah, by not staying in your own lane. Yeah. So I'm looking at this person and that's taking some kind of pleasure away from what I've achieved. Yeah. And the same thing happened once I got to uni. It's like now those people who were getting A stars across the board, now they're all around me. It's like, and I feel that was my main thing was academics. Yeah. Because growing up for me, self-esteem was a scarce commodity. So the one thing that I could hold on to was my academics. Yeah, okay. Right? But then once I lost that, at uni, it's like... Oh, is that where you lost it? Yeah. Is that where you say you lost it? Sorry. Yeah. Well, let's say temporarily I lost it. Yeah. You see in school as well, I'm going to ask you as well, yeah, was you one of them kids, that like, you see when everyone's cussing each other, was you like one of them ones that were just, like, you was good at cussing because you could intellectually break man's humour down, or like, how was you? I would you seem like you got humour to you still. I got humour to me, but like, where you see me now compared to where I was, like, I told my students this. I told them, listen, I was like the shyest boy in London. Okay. Like one of my best friends, he's known me since I was 4. Yeah. So I take his word above most. And he described me as painfully shy. Seen. So that's how I grew up. Okay. So when it comes to the humor, it's like there were only certain people, a few people I felt safe to be myself around. Yeah. Everyone else saw a kind of mask. I know what you mean though, still, because as well, you see, like in school, we was like lost, bro. Like there are a lot of people, the man that's bad in class, you want to follow him, you know what I mean? But then when you need help with certain things, you want to go to the person that's smarter, that's maybe, you get me? But for me, I feel my experiences in school, do you know what? My character wasn't like how it is now. That took time to build as well. I was confident, but at the same time, there was levels in it, you get me? So
I was on certain badness, but then when I saw the levels of certain badness the other kids were on and the older, I'm like, yo, let me play my position, but at the same time, stay in my lane. So you said you went to uni, yeah?
Yeah.
And what did you study in uni?
I studied business management.
Like me as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't go on campus. Did you go campus and...
Campus, yeah.
So how long did you do that for? Did you get...
It was a 4-year piece and 1 year work placement.
Okay. Yeah, so break that down then still. So you got the full masters?
No, just a, what do they call it, bachelor's.
You got a bachelor's,
bachelor,
okay.
So I didn't go back to there because uni was, I'm like, I got my degree, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I ain't going back to uni because that was terrible.
Yeah.
Unbalanced. Looking at the 4 years, it wasn't a
what
great
uni you go
experience.
to?
I went to Aston.
I don't even know where.
Over in Birmingham.
Okay. Oh, right, down them sides. Yeah, Aston is out there. Yeah. Sorry, my bad.
So I had 2 offers. One was Loughborough.
Yeah.
And the other was Aston.
So are they top universities?
They were top. I think Loughborough was like top 5.
No, I've heard of Loughborough's are top. Yeah. So Aston's on that same kind of...
Aston was below in the rankings than Loughborough, but the reason I chose Aston is because they call it the second city.
Okay.
So I'm like a city guy, so I played it safe.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me just go to what looks like London.
Yeah.
Because Loughborough is large and it's like a countryside.
Yeah.
Lots of greenery. I'm like, you know what? Let me stay with the city.
The only Loughborough I know is Loughborough Junction in Brixton. You get me? But yeah, go on. So yeah, you went to Aston, yeah?
Yeah. So went to Aston, and because, as I mentioned, there was only a handful of people that I felt comfortable to be around.
Yeah.
In primary school, they were around me, and if not, they were in the ends.
Yeah.
Secondary school, same thing.
Yeah.
College, same thing.
Yeah.
But now uni, there's 200 miles separating us.
Yeah.
I need to navigate this situation on my own, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, because I didn't know anybody at the uni at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. So you had to kind of...
And so me being painfully shy, like, it hasn't really changed since I was
school.
4 years old. So I'm still very shy.
Yeah.
To the point whereby, here's an angle, or here's an example. Like, I felt, for whatever reason, I felt more comfortable delivering a group presentation than introducing myself to a stranger.
Same.
And I couldn't understand. I'm like, why? That seemed weird to me.
Yeah.
But then I think I understood why. The presentation, there's a distance separating me and the audience.
That's right.
But the stranger is intimate.
Yeah, it's face to face. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Right? So I was more natural. I felt more comfortable when I was doing the group presentation than the face-to-face interaction.
Yeah.
And I struggled to make friends. Like, acquaintance was fine, but I could not develop beyond that.
Okay.
So it was just so lonely. Like, there's literally thousands of students around me, but I'm so lonely.
Yeah.
And also, being painfully shy, I didn't tell any of my people that I'm struggling. So nobody knew that I was struggling, that I ended up going for counseling. Right? Ended up going for counseling, ended up on medication.
What, while you was at uni?
At uni.
What, young age?
Young age. So they
what type of medication, like?
They gave me antidepressants. Right?
Because they're saying, oh, you're depressed.
Yeah.
This time you're not. Like, you just need to learn social skills, really. Yeah.
And so that is what happened, like, during my final year. Right? First year was a shambles, academically, socially. Second year, shambles, academically, socially. Third year, you have to go and get a work placement.
This is what now you have to.
You have to. And if you don't complete the qualification. And because I don't have these social skills, I'm shy, I can't get a job.
Yeah.
I'm trying. CV, interview, failure. Yeah. And I believe I was, if not the last person, one of the last people to get a work placement. And I'm seeing my peers, Microsoft, HSBC, BMW, they're getting these placements, they're earning 20-something K. Yeah. And I'm watching them live their life, posting their pictures. I'm broke, I'm desperate, I'm comparing. My self-esteem is gone, right? I'm close to dropping out. I was like, I can't do it. Eventually, I did get a placement, but the placement was unpaid.
Oh, shit.
So I'm getting £25 expenses. That's travel and food.
What was that placement doing? Like, where was that?
It was in Houston. It was nonsense.
Dead.
The only thing it did, it allowed me to complete the qualification.
Okay.
It was technically.
Yeah. Because you had to do a placement. I hear that.
15% of the degree.
Yeah.
So I was suffering. Year 1, year 2, year 3 suffering. And then year 4, it continues now. That's when the depression, the label came through, right? because it just kind of trickled over. I'm a final year student, and I'm living with first years on campus.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I ain't got no friends like that.
Yeah.
People.
So there's no one in the uni that tried to socialize with you and that, or?
I mean, as I said, like I tried, but it was just acquaintance. Like there were people who I knew their face, they knew my face, I didn't know their name. Yeah. They didn't know my name.
That's mad. Yeah.
And it's like, why can't I make friends? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, the only friends I have are those folks back in London. Yeah. Like, no one from college I'm in contact with. I just struggle to make friends. So, suffering. Got the diagnosis, depression. Got the antidepressants. Eventually, the final year kind of began to kick into place. Because I feel like I went back to myself. Yeah. I stopped trying to be what I thought I was supposed to be. Like I left ACS. Yeah. I wasn't feeling it, so I left it. Yeah. Right. Started doing Thai boxing. Started doing boxing. Went to the debate society. That's more me than ACS. Went to the empowerment society. That's more me than what ACS was doing. Yeah. Because there wasn't enough depth.
So when the debate society, what do you mean by that?
As in, like debate society talking politics.
What was that on Speaker's Corner or anything?
No. As in like at uni, there's different. What they call it? Different like societies.
Okay, little cliques.
Yeah, little cliques. So African Caribbean Society was one of the things that I thought I was supposed to do this, right? But I wasn't getting value from that. So I left that. Yeah. I'm like, okay, let me do boxing. Let me do let me do Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah. And then let me do Empowerment Society. Let me do debating. I like debating. I like politics. Yeah. And that was more my scene. So I think I kind of shook off that shackle that I was trying to be someone who I wasn't. Yeah. I'm not into clubbing. Yeah. Never been into clubbing. But I'm going to clubbing, I'm blacking out, drinking absinthe, and wiping myself out. Yeah. For what?
It's true. You're putting yourself in situations that you don't enjoy it, but I'm doing it just to please the people I'm around. You see what I'm saying?
Because I'm thinking, I'll tell you this, the very first week of my final year, I'm staying with these first years. They say, yo, let's go to a club or whatever. And we're drinking. I hate it. I hate it all. But I'm thinking, okay, if I do this, maybe we could be friends.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, we were drinking games, whatever. And then we went downstairs. My next memory, A&E.
Oh shit! Well, you blacked out.
Blacked out. A&E.
I just drink is not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. Yeah. So, and this was like my first week, so I'm like, oh man, I wanted to make an impression, and I certainly did. Definitely, who's this guy?
Yeah. Like, oh, he got burst. We got to carry him home. Yeah.
So A&E, they got the things ECG on my chest. I'm like, bro, what have I done to myself, man? Like, who am I? Like, what am I doing? But from that point, the final year actually began to pick up. Okay. You know? I said, okay, you know what? You flopped the first, second, third year. Yeah. Let's get back to primary school, secondary school, Eche. Let's get down to business.
Yeah, the main reason I'm here is to study.
Yeah, let's get down to business. So I did that, and I just had the mentality whereby I'm going to put my all into it and let the chips fall where they may. Yeah. All right? And I did that. Like, there was someone who I guess we were acquaintances, and he was like one of the smartest people I ever met. I'm like, okay, me and him, let's do a study group. I'm like, that's my guy. Yeah. You know, so we were doing that, and I put my all into the exams, my all into the coursework. And despite a terrible performance, year 1, 2, and 3, I ended up leaving with a first class business management degree. And I'm like, this has to be a gift from God. I'm like, how did I turn this trash into this first class degree? Yeah. And that's my greatest academic achievement, flipping that around to actually obtain that.
No, I respect that still. Yeah, that shows you that shows people that are watching and that are listening that no matter what you go through in life, you see what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows. You get me? Life's like a roller coaster, and it has a roller coaster effect. Yeah. And sometimes you might put yourself in a situation and you might think, you might think, raw, hey, well, go on. You saying, good, yeah? Big up, man, like DJ Young Nerves in the background. But yeah, you might think, I've put myself in a situation, I failed it because I didn't achieve straight away. But sometimes you have to have patience. And then, like you said, you kind of lose track of where you want to be. And you're like, let me get back to it. So I rate that as well. Because you said that, you've always understood the academics of like, I like to study. You get me? and then you went into the debate and you was doing the Thai. So do you reckon that helped you as well?
Yeah.
Kind of.
I think getting that physical element in there is good for the mind. You know, training, pushing yourself, challenging yourself. It just helps, right? Exercise, keeping fit. It's all part of this body.
That's right.
Body system.
Yeah.
And so, to kind of continue it then, it's like, got the degree, again, struggled to get into the corporate world. My vision for myself was Canary Wharf, Liverpool Street, suit, flipping briefcase, right? Making money, right? Getting paid, right? But I was knocking on the door, trying to force my way in. Rejection. I'm like, I've got the degree now. Yeah,
but no experience.
It's not even the where we were applying for a placement. I've got the degree. Yeah. Give me a job. Yeah. I could not do it.
That's right.
Interview, struggled. I'm like, I still can't do it. Socially, I can't navigate an interview. Right? And so my first proper job was working for a charity on the Young Black Men's Project.
Jeez.
Trying to kind of address the disproportionate outcomes in mental health, physical health education within the borough of Hackney. So I was very excited about that opportunity. But something strange happened to me in 2015. So remember, this is me, painfully shy. So the best way I can describe it is it felt like a spiritual awakening. But there's an important thing I need to caveat. At that time, I had a cocktail of drugs. I was back on antidepressants. Okay. And I was also smoking cannabis. Okay. So this happened in 2015. And I'm going through what feels like a spiritual awakening. Yeah. Suddenly getting this energy, suddenly feeling the need to let some things go, to cut some things out, and just to do good and to help society. I feel connected to the source of all things. So I'm like, whoa, I don't know what is happening, but this is, I feel alive. For the first time, I feel alive. Yeah. And so I find that I don't need to sleep like I used to. My mind is racing. I got all these ideas, all these thoughts racing. I'm like, what on earth is happening? I don't know, but I like it. Yeah. Right? And so I've got these ideas and so many things happen. I'll just give you a concise version. One of the things included, took out a bunch of credit cards, 7, 8 credit cards, payday loan, this loan. Like I'm just very, almost childlike. Right? In this mind state that I feel like is a spiritual awakening. And in the beginning, it's looked at as a good thing. It's like people are saying, oh, Eche is coming out of his shell. But I guess some of my decision making, one might say, it's not quite in alignment, right? So they say I'm giving possessions away. When I rocked up to Dalston, took off my smartwatch. I'm like, who wants this smartwatch? Right? They did like a little giveaway in Dalston Market. So giving away possessions, got all of these ideas, very energized, like energy like never before, like energized, like I don't need to sleep. 1 hour sleep, 0 hours sleep, I'm ready to go.
He was on it.
I'm on it. Like I'm so determined. I don't.
The mind's just racing. I
don't know what fear is. So I'm on the go. Okay. I create a podcast. Right. I said I want to set up a summer school. I need to go to Liverpool to visit the International Slavery Museum. So it's like I'm doing all of these things, moving around. But now it gets to the point whereby the people are saying something is wrong. Yeah. I quit my job because I felt like they weren't supporting me. We've got family tension bubbling up, right? The police have come to me saying, listen, we think something is wrong. You might want to evaluate you. Yeah. So I'm like, bruh, I'm not going into this beast system. Like, so I'm reading the Mental Health Act. And I'm like, okay, there's only 2 ways that they can get me into this system. If I'm a harm to myself or if I'm a harm to others. So I studied the legislation. So I'm like, as long as I don't do these 2 things, they can't take me in. So when they did come to my house, they said, we can't section him. He hasn't fit the criteria. But I'm now paranoid. I'm like, the police want me in this system. And I'm dreading it. So family tension, back and forth. Like I'm writing a book about this, but I'm giving you the kind of cliff notes. Family tension. Now, ultimately, this results in like a big episode in my bedroom. And I end up then getting sectioned.
Okay, like did you like flip out that kind of.
Yeah, flip out.
Mash out the place.
Damaging property.
Yeah,
that's what. That's what
broke section man for that.
Yeah,
that's
damaging
peak.
property. Yeah. Right in my own bedroom.
Yeah.
So they section me now, and I'm in the mental health hospital under section 2. That's 28 days.
Cheers.
Right.
Yeah.
And that experience inside the mental health hospital. Man,
where they bring you, Homerton?
Homerton.
Yeah.
Oh my days. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's a wilderness in there. Like I've seen some things, man. I've seen people. The first thing I saw was somebody who was so, you can see how much drugs he was on. He looked zombie-like, and that struck fear into me. I'm like, I don't want to be like that.
So you see, when they sectioned you as well, yeah, did they give you any heavier like doses of medication? And
oh yeah. Because here's the thing, with regards to mental health, and I got so much to say about this. It's so subjective. One of the things that jars me to this day is how they describe my behavior. They describe me as aggressive. But let's think about this. You've come to my bedroom. You have taken my freedom away.
Yeah.
You've now placed me in this place of boredom.
How am I meant to act?
What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And then furthermore, I'm someone who speaks with my hands.
Yeah. Man's expressive, innit? And passionate. And you're a man. So you're going to bring the masculine in it. Yeah.
And when me and the man, then when we debate, we agitate, we
get loud.
But that's what we do.
That's normal.
But in someone who's not familiar with that.
To modern day society, your class is aggressive. Your class is toxic. Your class is, you're threatening. You see what I'm saying? But go on. So I've got a little story I'm going to tell you still. I'm not going to go into too much detail. But I've got something that you can relate to. But go on.
So let me just give this piece and then you can bring it.
Yeah, go on.
So they call me aggressive now. Before I ended up in the intensive care unit.
Oh shit!
But before that, I was in what they call the open ward.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, there was this European brother who was running up and down the ward screaming, screaming.
Yeah.
He did not end up in intensive care unit. That's not aggression enough to get you into intensive care.
Yeah.
So after, I skipped an important part. 2 days in, I got bored. Maybe felt inspired by Michael Scofield Prison Break, and I left it. I cut out. I'm gone.
Yeah.
I followed the 394, like they followed the star of Bethlehem. Follow the 394 home. And I'm thinking, listen, let's just put this behind us, everybody. Right? It's just a big misunderstanding. So I'm in my bedroom now. Couple hours have passed. They were surprised to see me. Knock, knock, knock. Police. This is my 5th encounter with the police. I'm thinking, bro, is this nightmare?
And was these the only encounters that you had, like through growing up and all that with the police?
Pretty much,
basically, because that's what I'm gone. So
So they come to the bedroom now. They say, bro, you're under section. You have to go back. And I'm like, listen, the first time when you came to section me, I went, no problem. But I don't want to go back there. I'm in my bedroom. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. So now we've got 3-4 officers wrestling, trying to pin me down, handcuff me.
Yeah.
But they're not able to do that. Right? So the next step, taser. Bow.
Oh, shit.
Right? Taser, legs gone, back to the hospital.
Yeah.
Right? And then subsequently, I then end up in intensive care. And intensive care is so interesting because once I'm in there, I look around at the ethnicity and it's changed.
Yeah.
The open ward was more but then you get to intensive care and it's all ethnic minorities. I'm thinking something's happening within Hackney. Like it's not adding up.
It's not making sense.
It's not making sense.
Yeah, it's not making sense.
It's not making sense.
Yeah.
You know? But what's that piece you wanted to bring in?
Yeah, so obviously, me, I'm like yourself, innit? Obviously, I grew up on the streets of the dirt, but when it comes to the system kind of thing, sometimes I'm very expressive to them. So there's like, I have like a self-employment kind of advisor and that, innit, where I have to go, they self-employed, but when I'm going there, every time I'm going there, I'm feeling that they just want to tick boxes. So instead of them helping me on the route to being self-employed, to just showing me certain things, even though I've studied, but I still need that kind of that support. So anyway, I've gone to this appointment and I've expressed myself in a way where the advisor felt, and it was an advisor from from another colour, but the way, and it was a female as well, but the way I was expressive, I wasn't, and I even said to the management team and that, I wasn't coming across a threatening or nothing, but I was very passionate. I was saying, listen, you're here to tick boxes, and if that's the case, I don't need to be here. And without me here, you have no, you know what I mean? You have no job, that kind of, without the other people coming here that's trying to get self-employed, that's trying to, You know what I mean? So anyway, cut a long story short. So I expressed myself so much. They were like, don't worry, They called the manager, sat down with the manager. Anyway, so I had an appointment the other day. When I've gone the other day, they put me in a glass fucking, like a closed visits in jail. Like I'm in closed visits in jail, man. I'm going to my appointment. I say, Ramon, I'm not in open visits no more. You know the way? That's the equivalent. So I'm saying, it makes sense again. So where it is, and I've seen people in the past in different places, or even in this kind of like deal with staff or in a certain way where it could be deemed aggressive and threatening, but they're not in no, you know. So I kind of, when you're saying certain things, I haven't been in that unfortunate situation what you've been in, but I relate in it to how society can deem us, especially as black people, in it, that raw, we're aggressive, we could become threatening, and we could just be passionate in what we're saying, and we just want to get our point across because we're frustrated.
Exactly.
We've been let down. We've got no reparation. You know the way they're like, through life, we're still trying to build, but we're still being let down. So that's why unfortunate certain circumstances happen. So when you was in intensive care, like, what was the journey like for you to, because now you got to work your way out, isn't it?
Yeah.
So how long did they kind of section you for from them? Like,
so I was there for like the full 28 days.
You was in there for 28 days, yeah?
28 days.
Okay, yeah.
I appealed to the tribunal. I'm like, that's the first thing I've done. I'm like, how can I get out of here?
Yeah.
So one of the things is appeal to the tribunal.
Yeah.
But the tribunal is coincidentally also 28 days. So I'm like,
you have to wait, yeah.
You have to wait for the process to complete. So eventually I was discharged. My parents, I think, they came to an agreement, whatever. But the diagnosis came, right? And it's interesting because, as I said, I was on I was on weed, I was on antidepressants, but with the confidence that they made the diagnosis of bipolar disorder.
Same.
So I was like, oh, swear down.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Yeah.
No family, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So now I've been given this label. This is a lifelong label with the medication that they say that I should be taking.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, like this is, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
I thought my life was heading in this direction, but it's all falling down.
Because even that's mad to say, because even from what you've explained, the journey's been so powerful, and then it's kind of like when it got to uni, is where it went downhill. Well, things didn't go your way. Like, no, I mean, like how you expected it, but society let man down, bro. That's what I gather from this. Like, man's an intelligent man. Man kept away from crime. Man was in the trench with everyone else, and yet this is how life treats man. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, just tell us like how you navigated through that to become what you're doing today. So I'm trying to say.
So I will say this: like, one of my most dominant traits. My most powerful trait of all. Like, there's 5 big personality traits, and one of them is open-mindedness. When I did the test, it said 100. So my mind is open to possibilities. So my mind was open to the fact that, yes, this diagnosis is the end.
Yeah.
But my mind was also questioning the diagnosis immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, like, I know what I felt.
Yeah.
How are you going to tell me this is a mental illness?
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't know what I was going through. Like, I'm like, this is a spiritual awakening. Like, it changed me. I don't know what happened, but it changed me.
Do you feel it was the weed and the medication?
I feel like those things, because I removed both of those substances.
Okay.
Right? Cut out the weed, cut out the medication.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not on medication. And I'll tell you, okay, let me talk about the journey.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, so, yeah.
The first phase was kind of coming to terms and questioning, like skeptical. I'm researching. I'm looking for people who have had similar experiences. Because I'm like, how can you make a diagnosis when I'm taking weed, right? In order to be confident, this should happen when I'm not taking any substances.
That's
because what I went through is, they call it mania. So bipolar is a mood disorder and is characterized by periods of high mood, which is mania. That's what I experienced when my energy was up. I couldn't go to sleep, racing thoughts, right? Credit card spending, people do risky activities. So for me, it was...
to kind of give to people as well, isn't
it? So that is the mania, but then the lower side of it, in terms of the mood fluctuation, that's the depression. So I'm questioning this. I'm like, do I really have this thing? Do I really have that? So for the first period, I was kind of taking the medication, but I saw the impact it was having on my body. I felt stiff. My brain was foggy. I put on a bag of weight.
Seen. So when you stop taking the meds, yeah?
Then, no, when I started taking the meds.
Yeah, because it's like yeah.
Antipsychotic, powerful substances.
Yeah.
I read the list of side effects. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you're telling me I have to take this for the rest of my life?
Nah,
like,
bro.
Something is not making sense.
Yeah.
So
there has to be a way to work off of this. Yeah.
So I quickly stopped those medications because one thing I did that I took agency. I'm like, listen, I have to be in control of this. I need to learn the system and learn what are my rights.
Yeah.
What are my rights?
That's right.
One of the things that you don't have, and I ask my students this, and I ask people this, would you rather spend 28 days in prison or 28 days under Section 2 of the Mental Health Act? Would you rather be detained for 28 days or spend 28 days in prison?
I would rather spend 28 days in prison.
So would I. Yeah. I haven't been to prison, but I've been detained. Right?
And I know a lot of people that's been detained under the Mental Health Act. And
because the one thing that you lose is bodily autonomy.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
That means you lose the ability to determine which chemicals will enter your body. Okay. What does that mean? That means that under section, they say, listen, we've prescribed this medication, you need to take it. Yeah. So you're either going to swallow it and show your tongue. Yeah. If you don't, we get our two biggest gentlemen, pin you down and inject you with the medication.
Yeah, liquid kosh, used to call it.
So I saw that happen to somebody. And so I just said, give me this, whatever. Yeah. So I'm like...
It don't matter how big you are. And like Charles Bronson and all these top guys, that like Charles Bronson, you know about Charles Bronson, innit? They've had to, he's gone through that when he was on, what's the place called again, man? There's a place where it's a biggest mental hospital, something farm, man. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. They call it a funny farm. Yeah. But yeah, go on, So for me, it's like, it's all about, I need to understand the system. I need to understand my rights. So once I'm no longer in the mental health situation, I can make decisions about my medication. I'm like, I don't like this medication, give me something else. Yeah. I don't like this one, give me something else. Then eventually, I don't like any of this. Yeah. Let me try it without this. Yeah. Right? Let me try it without. So one of the things that's got me to where I am is faith. Faith in myself to overcome depression. Big up. Right? Yeah. So leap of faith. Right? Another thing, health and fitness and experimenting with myself. Because you have to be a scientist, right? They taught us science and we stopped doing it. I'm like, you have to experiment with yourself. So I'm like, okay, what's going to happen if I'm not on this medication? What's going to happen if I stop taking this medication? What's going to happen if I stop taking this drug? What's going to happen if I go back to the cannabis? Right? So all of these things I had to kind of experience. I had to burn myself, right? Because I ended up going back to the weed and it was no longer like what it used to be. Yeah. Now it's all anxious thoughts and paranoia. But that started a wild goose chase. I'm like, okay, different strain. Yeah. Same thing. Next one, Amsterdam. Same thing. I'm thinking, what is wrong? So that's one of the things I have to let go of because I realize everything is not for everybody. Right? So that is not for me. Right? So I made that determination. So cut that one out. Right? And finding a purpose. Yeah. Like, as I said, I loved education. I love being a student. And I ended up being a teacher. And I almost didn't go into teaching because I read articles, can you teach with bipolar disorder? Because it's a stressful job. And I'm reading horror stories, people that had breakdowns. And I was so close to saying, you know what, just do something else. But I'm like, again, let's have faith, you know. I do it. If it doesn't work out, at least I tried. Yeah. Right? So I went into teaching college students. Okay. Right. I've been doing this for 4+ years. Taking on management roles. Yeah. And I haven't had to take a day off because of mental health. Yeah. So my mood is very stable. My mood is very stable, and having some kind of being able to enjoy what I do in the morning. Like I love working with young people, right? What age do you...
16, 17. So this is college.
Yes, right? It's like fresh out of secondary school.
It's just a beautiful
where they
thing.
got that most potential. That's where they're in their prime of that teenage going into adulthood. You know what I mean, innit?
It's such a powerful time in their life.
Because they could, that's when they got the hunger, they're ready. You know what I mean, innit? Yeah.
So I just really love my students and love working with them.
Yeah.
And that was an important part of my own journey. You know, it was like having... And for a lot of years, like this is what I'm doing. This is what is giving me energy. Like I just love being around my students, and I would suffer during the half term, during the Easter, because I lost structure. Yeah, and I lost contact with the students who gave me that energy. Yeah, so I had to learn how to navigate those periods where my structure would break down.
You find something else.
Yeah, because my sleep would break down.
Yeah,
you know, next thing you know, I'm not going to the gym. Yeah, and then that starts a negative cycle. Yeah, a negative cycle, and so I tried so many things. My meditation, and another thing that powerful part of my own journey, art.
Okay, so you're good at art, or you like drawing?
I love drawing. As I said, when I was young, I had my comic book series.
Oh, yeah.
I love Dragon Ball Z, but I'm like, I want my own comic, man. Yeah. So let me write my own comic book. So I had that. And one of the things that I did was what they call arts therapy. So this was post getting sectioned. So I did that for a year. You go to let's call it a center, and if you want, you can do lessons, you can learn, you can produce, you can go to a live jam session with a band and make songs. Yeah. I'm like, this is...
So it's like a therapy. You can just go there and just express yourself.
I'm like, why is this only for people who have been sectioned? Yeah. This should be for everyone. Yeah. Like, this is therapeutic. Why do I need to get sectioned to benefit from this?
It's crazy, isn't it?
Like, and that was so powerful for me. Like, I love that. And I feel like that's where I realized, you know what? There's something about, because I've always loved music, but it was always as a passive listener. Yeah. But in those stages, they were like, Eche, help us make a song. So I'm like, okay. So then the poetry element started to come into it, started to put syllables together. Like, I couldn't rhyme or do anything before Mania.
Okay. Like,
I tried, believe me, I tried, but I was whack.
You was whack, yeah.
So I was just listening, right?
So you didn't have the bars.
I didn't have the bar. I couldn't put it together.
Yeah, go on.
Couldn't put it together, but something happened. Something happened during 2015 whereby I can now manipulate words. You know, I kind of intuitively learn how to kind of rhyme and rap, and so that creative expression was important. Because, and as I'm even talking to you, it's becoming clearer, right? I feel like what happened was, because I was so shy, all of the things that I wanted to say and express, I did not. It's just in here.
Yeah, you build it up.
Building up. And then it exploded.
That's right.
In 2015. Yeah. Right? But now I have the means to express my opinions and be myself wherever I go. Like my students, they see me. Yeah. Right? My friends, they see me. Like people see me.
Would you teach as well?
I teach business.
Okay, so that's good, you know. So you went from doing it in uni, getting a degree, to teaching it. Yeah. Well done. Look at that. And there's not a lot of people that's gone to uni that's sticking to what they know, that the degree that they've got. So you're a G for that, yeah. So that's kind of what's kept you made the transition from that till now then. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like a combination of these things, but now being able to express myself, express my feelings, it's like I'm no longer having to kind of put on this facade, put on this mask. Yeah. Before I could only be myself around maybe 4 people. But now this is like I'm me. Yeah. Right? I'm me. Yeah. So the fear that was holding me back, that's gone. The strings that were pulling me and kind of manipulating me. And one of those big strings was fear. Like, whenever I see one of those strings, I make sure I need to cut that. Yeah. Because for me, freedom is, especially after being sectioned, I'm like, freedom is one of my most important values.
Of course, man. Even people that go to prison, they understand that. Yeah. You get me? Yeah, freedom is very important, bro. You get me? And I've got a lyric when it comes to fear. Like, I'm like, I remember growing up, man, I had to fight fear. You know what I mean? There, because it's a normal human instinct to fear something. Yeah. You know, so some people, they might be fearless when it comes to, like, they might be like, they don't fear no man or they don't fear no woman. But then they might see a wasp coming to the room and they're right. My brother always says that he sees the top guys, you know, that are on it. But when they see a spider or a wasp, they're blowing out the room. Like man, you know the way they're just running out the room, I see a wasp. But yeah, so I think as a I think it's a natural human, not even just a human, I think it's just a natural instinct of nature, you know what I mean? Like even animals, there's animals, they probably fear, you know, certain things. You get me? What you see is when animals see humans, they respect humans. So there's a sense of respect and sense of fear there that they know, oh, you go too close, he's gonna crush you, he's gonna kill you, so, or he's gonna hunt you. Yeah. You get me? He's gonna take your skin off and use it as a jacket. You get me? So back to that, like I think fear, yeah, it's good to cut it, but at the same time, sometimes it's good to try and face it and fight it. Yeah. Like, fight your demons, like they say, you get me?
Like my mantra right now is to use fear as a compass.
Yes.
So fear tells me where I need to go.
Yes, how to navigate.
So one of the things that I did in 2015 was I did some YouTube, I did a podcast.
Yeah.
And now, fast forward 2015, right?
Are you not listening? Yeah.
And so in like 2020, something in me was like, you need to go on YouTube and do stuff. But I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm scared. So I'm like, okay, I got to the point whereby this is one of the things that frightens me the most. I must do this.
Yeah.
I must do it.
Yeah.
I have to do it. And so I started vlogging and YouTubing. And before I know it, the comfort zone is expanded, right? And one of the precursors to that was something I done. And you've got on your shirt, keep it 100.
Yeah, come on.
One of the things that I did, I said, I wonder, can I walk 100,000 steps in a single day? And so I ended up doing that. And for me, it has a symbolic value because it's like my mind thought that I could do it. I'm like, can my body do it? Can we get in sync? Can I push my boundary so high to walk 100,000 steps in a day?
Yeah.
So I did that. Then I did it again. Then I did it again. So I'm like, oh, swear down. And what happened by breaching that comfort zone, suddenly, if I walk 30,000 steps in a day, light work.
Light work.
Right? So now, taking that same mentality, and now apply that in life.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what's keeping me trapped? Like, where am I comfortable? And my comfort zone was, listen, you're not on social media, right? You've got all these opinions, you've got all these things to share, but you're not sharing it. So I'm in that comfort zone. So I'm like, bro, you need to do 100,000 steps. You need to get out of that comfort zone, right? Because you know, me more than anybody, I know that's where the growth happens.
Yes, my bro.
It's been a journey going from the shyest boy in London to now whereby I'm like, yo, and I tell my students, I think some of them don't believe me. I'm like, listen, all you shy folks, I know I've been there.
Yeah, man, of course. Like, and even for me, like, back to stepping out your comfort zone. So for me, like, growing up, man's always been talented, innit? Like, my voice people's always say your voice stands out. I've been a confident person at speaking, but there's times where there's situations where I'm not as confident, or certain environments, if I don't feel confident, I don't want to be around it. But by going to like college, I was on a Princess Trust, then going to uni like yourself, done business management, had to meet different type of people, had to do, you see, presentations for me was man's shaking or man's laughing, man's not taking it serious, man's blazing couple zoots before, not trying to condone that people, but the nerves are just rocking. And then, but that helped me get out of my comfort zone. Then when I was doing music, I was like an artist that, I'm a person that wants independence, that wants ownership, but my mentality and my character as an artist and as a person that's a creative, always wanted people to do things for me. So when I first started doing my like music or whatever, not first start, but I had to send emails to Link Up TV to this person, whoever it is. I had to get my friends to do it, or I got someone doing it because other people's doing that. Got to a stage where it's like, if I don't do things myself, it's not going to get done properly. Someone might send an email and it's sent wrong, or the tune, or so I'm like, you know what? I need to get out of my comfort zone. I don't want to be talking to man on the computer, bro. I'd rather meet all these people face to face and speak with them. Rejection sometimes is a thing where man don't like. I might email to upload my video or BBC One Extra to play my song and they say they don't like it. And then rejection, I was like, fuck them. You get me? I don't fucking send them up. But really, no, let me go back to the drawing board. So throughout the years, to how I've got to this level where we're sitting here, I'm getting like-minded people like yourself, sitting down, doing a podcast on the camera, bro. Trust me, see the man that grew up with me would know, bro. Fen, like you've come a long way. You see when I do my jerk chicken and bro, this is me coming out of my comfort zone, bro. Coming up to you like, bro, man's got jerk chicken. I'm not coming up to you saying, bro, man's got jaws, you know. You see the difference though, bro. Man's not coming up to you saying, bro, man's got pattern, man's got loud, or man could do some 419, or you see what I'm not condoning anything or judging anyone, but I'm just saying. So even for me, like as much as you might see me like I'm doing what I'm doing, or you know what I'm saying, but I've had to come out my comfort zone as well. So I think it's being a human. I think that's what, like you just said, it shows the growth. It shows that nah, my man's prepared to go the extra mile to better himself, to better his people. And some people won't understand it. Back to the family, like when you talk about family, I've had a lot of family ups and downs. I lost my mum, I lost my you get me? So I've gone through shit as well where I'm still battling. And this, even sitting here, even explaining this to someone that I don't know for you or whatever, but I feel comfortable enough to tell the people, my people that watch this, I'm comfortable enough. I don't care if people want to use it against me, but this is me coming out of my comfort zone as well. So even when I see other people on their podcast, like, man, like flipping, even the No Behavior, big up No Behavior, Margs on that, big up Spray, big up everyone, big up all the, even Noriega, bro. That's who I look up to, like not Joe Budden, sorry, Noriega. Then you got Joe Buddens, and you get me, but that's what made me like I think it was like 2016. I started seeing podcasts. I'm like, raw, this is good, and this is a guy. He's a rapper. What? Bust your gun, didn't it? Yeah. If he can do it, I can do it. We're humans, but we've got to grow in life. Like you said, you grow up. That's cool, all right? Cool, raving, girls. I've never really liked raving, but I've done it just to fit in or just to. But really, what's for me is this, bro. Like this is my gift that God gave me. I might not be the biggest artist like Drake or Stormzy or whatever, but I've still got a chance, you know what I mean? So it came a point in my life where I was like, fuck this is long, man, like, you get me? But now, bro, I'm at a stage where I'm out of my comfort zone, but I started to feel comfortable. I'm executing it. I can sit down with you that's intelligent, that's got A stars in his GCSEs, bro. Went to a good university, bro. Like, and I can communicate. You know what I'm trying to say, bro? So we have to be proud of ourselves. You know what I'm trying to say, my bro? So yeah, man, so what's like, so you're doing the teaching now, yeah? And also, you still, I see you doing the Instagram, YouTube. Yeah,
you know what? Oh man, it's like my interests are all over. Like my only problem right now is number one, organization and time, right? So a full-time teacher, I want to do documentaries, working on a book, working on an album, right? So it's like, okay, I need to organize myself. Yeah. Because going back to personality, I'm super open-minded, right? Very agreeable. Yeah. But my organization is not great. Right? If you look at my desktop, you'll be frightened, right? Everything just goes everywhere. Right? So I need to organize myself in that vein. But there's so many things I want to do. There's so many things to communicate. Because this story that I've told is like a fraction of it, right? So I want to flesh it out. There's a book that I'm working on, right? So the book will tell the story of how I went from the shyest boy in London to getting sectioned to going on the road to recovery, whereby it's no longer about surviving. This is about thriving, right? Thriving.
But like, I like that one. It's not about surviving. It's about thriving.
It's like I feel so alive. It's and when I tell folks, it's like the original title of the book was My Polar Opposites, A Blessing in Disguise. Jeez. So it's like, I've known that what happened to me, everything in my life that's happened to me, like I wouldn't change anything at all. Because it's all brought me to this point. Yeah. And this point, like, I feel so alive. I feel so blessed. Every day I wake up with energy. And it's amazing because it's similar to 2015 in the sense that I have this energy, I have this connection to God, right? But because I'm not on antidepressants, because I'm not smoking weed, my sleep is so sweet. Yeah.
Are you still training as well?
Oh, I train. I train like that. That's like my most deeply embedded habit. Like I train. Like I got before I ended up teaching, I got qualified to be a personal trainer.
See, look at that.
It's PT. But then I realized that I don't really like training people. I like training myself. Like I prefer to give people the advice. Yeah. Like this is what you need to do. Yeah. Go and do it. Like I don't want to be there with you in the gym. Yeah. You know. So I've got that in my back pocket. I just kind of had to do something to get my brain back up. So I'm like, okay, let me get qualified to be a PT. So maybe one day I'll end up using that. But that passion of mine has been there. It's like your health and wellness and well-being. So it's there. So who knows? I might end up using that one day. But all of these different things to express, and I just can't wait for. This is when teaching, which is it's a beautifully bittersweet profession. It's a beautifully bittersweet profession.
Beautifully bittersweet profession.
Because you get to work every day. I get to work with some of the dopest people on the planet. Right, the next generation.
That's true, spud me.
Right,
and you know what? People fail to realize that, you know. The next gen. You see the next gen there? You see what I'm trying to say? Right. That's how man roll. Like,
they're the shape the world.
They're lit. Them man are lit. Man still trying to be like them a little, you know what I mean? Trying to fit in with them. Hopefully I do, you get me? But at the same time, still be a role model to them. Like, you get me? Like, things like that. My brother called me. He's come from South London. This year is, you get me? I know what he's about, but and they're lit, fam. Like, that's, yeah, man. Do you know, I respect that a lot, man.
And they've got.
I respect that.
They've got so much potential. Like, I love my students, and I realized like there was a period whereby there was no students in the college, and I'm like, this is dreadful. I'm just I'm on the computer, I'm on the keyboard, I'm typing. I'm like, there's no energy here. You know, there's no students here. So the reason I call it a beautifully bittersweet profession is because yes, I get to work with young people, and it's amazing. But then the actual system itself, the education system, there's so much nonsense in there.
Of course.
The stuff they need to know,
they're not telling them.
It's difficult for them to get that information.
They're not telling them, blood.
Because then the curriculum is so, then you get into exam mode. But I love it because we can talk about life. I'm like, listen, let's talk about credit scores and mortgage and where does money come from, young people? It's like, because we're teaching a unit on personal and business finance. I'm like, perfect. Let's talk about where money comes from. Right? Let's talk about interest and credit scores and defaults and these things that I wish somebody told me.
Don't get no CCJs and that.
Like, you need to know this. Forget the curriculum for a moment. This is life.
This is important.
This is important.
This is what's going to make you be able to kind of progress to another level.
Yeah, because what's happening, you think about this, right? Rishi Sunak, Prime Minister, his cabinet, the most powerful people in the UK, 65% of them went to private schools.
100%. They went to Eton
and the rest of it. So I'm like, swear down. So they are doing something. Number one, they get the networks. They benefit from the networks and the socializing.
Another thing is that they got generational wealth.
Generational wealth. But also, what they are teaching them, they're instilling them with the confidence and the tools to lead and rule.
Yes. Yeah. A country.
Rule a country.
Yeah. A system. To be a part of a system. And like you said, they learn other things. Like you said, that we're not learning, that we can't even fathom. And that's how they're able, you see these little donuts in position, fam. So, you know, like, that's how I call it. A lot of donuts, bro, you get me?
So it's like, for me, what my whole piece is about, I'm like revolution. I'm like, so much things are broken, but I believe in the power to change these things. Yeah. Right? Mental health, education system, the monarchy. Right, abolish the monarchy. Right, get rid of the thing.
Get rid of them.
Right, abolish the thing.
Give us back our stuff. Right. Give us back our give us our diamonds. You get me? Give it back. All right, give us back our land.
It's like there's so many things that need to change, and it's like, okay, I believe in the ability for change to happen, because the way I see it, I'm like, okay, the system is here, but just because this is the way it is now doesn't mean that's the way it always has to be.
It has to be, you're right though.
You know, it's like if enough people can come together and put the distractions away for a side, it's like, listen, Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Real Madrid, like, come together for a moment and let's discuss.
Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Jew, let's all come together and let's discuss really, like, you know, these people are sitting with all of this and maybe we can use certain laws of the land. Yeah, because we don't need to always be, you know, crazy and that. We can use, that's what they've done. A lot of them are pirates. You get me? Use laws of the seas. Come on, man. I don't want to take it, my brother. Trust me. You get me?
It's like all of the things that keep us distracted and keep us divided.
Yes.
It's like who benefits when we are divided?
The people at the top.
People at the
that
top.
are running the place, yeah.
Because if people came together, that's when people get scared.
Yes.
Because then they're worried, oh, the system might change, right? Change is possible, but there's so much division. I mean, the state of discussion these days is like, it's terrible, right? People can't have conversations no more, you know? And that's one of the things that needs to change. Because if we can say, listen, let's do 1 year. Let's put the division to the side.
Yeah, and see how far.
And let's see what we can do. Yeah. Right? Once the system is changed, then we can go back and sort out these little things, these little disagreements. But right now, it clearly, just bet, if you've lived in London, right, for the last 10, 12 years, you can't tell me that this is a good system, this is an equal system, this is a fair system.
Come on, bro.
Right? It's not making sense. Yeah. Right? So what are we going to do about that?
Yeah, what are we going to do to make it change for real?
Yeah. And for me, like, I studied 3 things in college. Business, politics, and media.
Seen.
And it's like that. It's like, and when I look at those subjects, it's like, yeah, there's a reason.
They work. They all work.
It works.
Yeah, like a puzzle.
It's a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
It's a puzzle piece. So for me, I'm about change. I'm about trying to meet like-minded people who's like, okay, this is how we can change. Because I got some ideas. I'm like, listen, like, I got some ideas. Like, let's see what we can do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's about innovation. It's about fresh ideas, man. Out with the old, in with the new. Yeah. And that's why I love young people, because they'll see a simple solution. It's like homelessness. Like, just give them somewhere to stay. Like,
of course, yeah, it's true.
I'm like, why are we why does it seem so complex?
Yeah. Everyone's worrying about the coronation, spending all this money, but what? We can't put no money to make them even eat a pot out of a pot. You get me? Like, come on, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, and you got all these properties they're building, these these apartments that no one can afford to live in, but people that are coming from that background. But you can't even house people that are homeless. You see what I'm saying? And some of them, well, people that's fought for the country, you know, so it's sad, man. Yeah, obviously we've got to wrap up soon, but what I want to do, obviously you're working on your audiobook, innit? I definitely want you to, I want to get you on the podcast regular. We have some topics and things like that. I think I want to get you back down. Maybe the next one we do is talk about education system properly. And then obviously when you've developed the book and that, we can talk about that further as well. Obviously we've got everyone's got a blah, blah, blah. But what's your plans for the future? Like, you get me, obviously you're releasing your audiobook. What else is your plans for the future? And also, before you go, just a message to the people that have been in your situation. What would you say to kind of empower them, basically?
So plans for the future, book, album, and then I need to just continue producing content. Book, album, content.
Okay.
Book, album, content.
Yeah.
But then I want again to get back into the event space.
Okay.
Because as much as online is cool, I love to be with people. Face to face. Yeah. So I did some events before, and that was dope. So I'm ready to get back into event mode. Yeah. Right? Let's chop it up. We can talk about mental health, whatever the case may be. Bring the people together, because there's an energy that you get that is not the same online. Yeah. So book, album, content, events. Yeah. Right. That's the plan for and of course I'm teaching as well. Right. So that's the plan in the near future. And then to your second question, it is in terms of the message that I will send. One of the key messages that I will say is, personality isn't permanent. I'm a living testimony. People won't believe me when I say I was the shyest boy in London, but believe me, I've come a long way. It's a difficult journey, but if you commit to lifelong learning, if you use fear as a compass, if you identify the strings that are pulling you and manipulating you, right? If you can actually invite fear in, because it's a natural reflex. So I'll just give you an example. So when I was first jumping back in to the YouTube space, I felt that fear wash over me. But I flipped it. I said, Wagwan fear. How you doing? It's been a minute. Come true. Can I get you a cup of tea? 1 sugar, 2 sugar. Right? Now fear, just come right here, take a seat and watch me make this YouTube video. And I did it. And then the voice is quieted. And then Fear said, bro, I have to go.
Kind of gets out the window, isn't it? You're right.
I got someone else to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go scare someone else. Nah, big up for that one there.
Right. So that's the crux of my message. Use fear as a compass. Personality isn't permanent. Right. And for those who have something to offer to the world, it's like, listen, the world needs to hear this thing. Right. So you need to find confidence in your voice. And I'm especially speaking to the shy folks because I was once with you.
Yes,
right?
tell them.
So what I want you to be, my final piece is we need to be careful with language. How we say can trap us. There's been teachers that condemned people to a life in McDonald's, right? Like I saw that. I saw teachers say that you end up doing this.
Yeah, you end up in jail.
That's the prophecy.
You end up coming back. The schools always say people end up going back. Yeah.
That's the prophecy. So that one needs to be rebuked. Period. But at the same time, the language that you use, you need to be careful of. Yeah. Right, because you might create self-fulfilling prophecies. Right. So for someone who will say, "I'm shy," I always flip it. I'll say, "Listen, okay, you're shy right now. Yeah. It's not the end of the story."
That's right.
Because if you put the full stop at "I'm shy," you're trapping yourself within that shyness, right? But we can address the fact that you're shy, but also address the fact that it can change. Yeah. Right? No. So being careful with our language. Yes. That's my final piece.
No, big up, man. Eche, you see what I'm saying? This is a definition of when I create a platform of what narrative I'm pushing out there. So yeah, like I grew up with a lot of people that was involved in street life, and I also grew up with people that was on the street, that was in the estates and that, but they didn't go down that corner. And we have to highlight that. Like I see a post about it the other day, but I had to slap myself in the face like, raw, yeah, man's always gonna have the man them. But this is the man them as well. You know what I mean? He lived in the trenches just like man. So raw, now I can learn from him and it can still help me in life because we're still always gonna make mistakes, you see what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I was going to ask you some questions on the table round quickly. I will quickly, but obviously this guy's intelligent, so he will ask anything. But I've got something, we do business management, so I've got like 2 business questions. So quickly, don't let your students down. SWOT analysis. What does SWOT analysis mean?
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats.
But come on, that's light work for you, man. And PESTAL.
PESTAL, political, economic, social, technological, legal, environmental, ethical as well. You got the extra E in there.
Yeah. And then one more, the 5 Ps.
So we got the 7 Ps of marketing.
Yeah, so 7 then.
We got price, product, promotion, place, people, physical evidence, and process. Extended 7 Ps.
But my brother, at the table round, you see Eche, he got 3 out of 3. That, you get me? But he's a teacher. That man, you know that way there. He can't outsmart that man there. But nah, man. This was a really. I can't lie. Even when you were just, you know, when you listen to a song, you get goosebumps, innit? Yeah. Like, bro, no homo, nothing, bro. His story, give man goosebumps, bro. Like, it's powerful, bro. And this is what I'm doing this journey for again, innit? So, thank you very much, man. We're definitely gonna have this brother back on the podcast. And yeah, man, we're gonna chop it up again, man. So thank you for your time today, bro. And thank you for sharing this. A wonderful, amazing story, bro. So just keep uplifting, bro. Just keep going. Keep going, my bro, yeah? Big up, man.
Big
Respect,
up.
man.
Appreciate it.
And people, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Keep it 100. You get me? Like Eche said, right? You get me? The 100,000 steps a day. You get me? What? We're out.